Hey guys, this is here bringing you another video. Now welcome to the patch 25.24 patch notes, which means it's the end of the year in terms of the patches for League of Legends. So the first thing I'll just straight away ask you guys is, what did you think of season 2025? We've got all the changes upcoming in the next month or so about, for next year. Leave that out of your opinion. What did you specifically think about this year? Sorry, I've got hiccups. I will just very quickly answer that myself. I think I liked this season. Obviously, it had its issues, but I think that in the grand scheme, we've been in a relatively balanced state. In the fact that I think pretty much every single class of champion has been able to shine throughout the year. Some classes, the whole year, admittingly, but I overall think it's not been too bad. I think proof is in the pudding for me personally. I've been now a master player for pretty much the whole season since I made that change, I think, in month 2 of the season of going from mid to top. I've then pretty much been master every single month. So it's worked for me and I'm enjoying the game more than I did, I'd say, a year or two ago. So I think that's a positive. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, let me know. So let's get into it. The highlights. We've got nerfs, quite a few, to Dr. Mundo. I think that's okay. Kane, good. Kha'Zix, okay. Marcy, good. Mel, definitely yes. And Zed. Again, the thing with Zed, he's too consistent for being an AD assassin. Similar to Kha'Zix as well. They're too consistent. You're not supposed to be consistent as an assassin. That kind of defeats the point of being an assassin. Buffs to Brom, Nasus, Sejuani, Swain, and Victor. System changes to Bloodline, and then new skins, which is all like the Christmas skins. So they are bringing basically Christmas skins back. So Reindeer Smolder, Winter Wonder Milio, Winter Wonder Zeri, Sunken Shadows Lucian, Sunken Shadows Nami, and Prestige Winter Blessed Mel will be available tomorrow. As I'm recording this on the 2nd, it'll be available on patch day. Let's get into it. So, Season 3 Ranked is ending soon. So this is going to be the official cutoff of... I get all the time in the live stream right now. When's the season ending? Here you go. So, the season will end the 7th of January, 2026. A second before it turns to the 8th. So there we go. That is it. So you have got basically the whole of the 7th of January. The moment midnight strikes and it becomes the 8th of January, the ranked season is over. So that's over a month away, by the way. So that's still quite a lot of time. So similar to previous years, Summoner's Rift rank queues will be disabled for 12 hours in preparation to basically the start for season 2026, which will begin noon on the 8th. So yeah, basically it's down for 12 hours. I think you, by the way, can still play ranked. Sometimes it's weird. You sometimes can still queue up for ranked. It just doesn't count for anything. But yeah, so noon on the 8th. So just to kind of go over a date, by the way, that is a Thursday. So the 8th of January is a Thursday. Obviously, when it comes to me, just to make it very clear, obviously Baby Pleb is going to determine a lot of when I actually get back into playing, etc. Because it all depends when he's born. My plan is to take 2 weeks off streaming when he's born. So if he's born, well, hilariously, if he's born on Christmas Day, 25th of December, 2 weeks after that is the 8th. So if he's born before Christmas, I will have ample time to have the 2 weeks off to help Queen Pleb as much as I can and, bond with my son. And then the season will start. If he's born after Christmas, then I might be a little bit late to the season's start. But obviously, it goes without saying, one of the, you could say the miracles of life is, starting a family. And even though, yes, it might hurt content a little bit or views a little bit at the beginning of the season, I'm going to spend that 2 weeks with my family. So it all depends when he's born, as I said. So, yeah. Yeah, anyway. So, it's worth knowing, it will not only include, so the end of the season year awards will include not only Victorious Draven. I will say a lot of people found it very ironic that the Victorious skin is for Draven. I mean, a lot of people are like, why? the vast majority of Draven tricks will never get the skin because you need a decent honor level to get the skin. And most Draven 1 tricks do not have a good honor level. But anyway, it will also accessories that celebrate your highest rank achieved during the year. Oh, cool. So yeah, it's basically you get the Victorious skin border that is compatible with all 3 Victorious skins of 2025. It does require owning all 3 of the skins that came throughout the year. So if you've been a ranked player the whole year, you probably have all 3. The season 2025 ranked emote and the season 2025 ranked icon. And I imagine that these emotes and icons change to the rank that you peaked at. So for me, it'll be master emote and a master icon. If you hit gold, it will be a gold icon and a gold emote. So there's that. That's cool. WASDA, like, I'm not going to go over it massively, but it's basically custom games, Swift Play ARAM, Arena Mayhem, and all random Earth. So it's not in draft Summoner's Rift, and it's not in ranked solo queue or flex. But WASDA's a mistake. Like, every good player practically agrees. It's worth saying, Briar and Talia, you cannot use WASDA if you're on one of those champions. 1, the amount of bugs is ridiculous with it, and 2, the balance is just impossible to actually make balanced. But regardless, champ select changes. Obviously, part of this, by the way, is towards the, you know, they announced a bunch of these changes in the 2026 changes video. Some of them are hitting now, and some of them will hit in January. Some of them hitting now. You'll no longer be able to ban hovered champions hovered by your teammates. And then also they are. We introduce improvements to speed up champ select for Summoner's Rift, solo, duo, flex, normal draft, to basically North American OCE. They are being rolled out to all improvements. So again, getting into the game quicker from champ select, I think that's good. That's not a bad thing. But yeah, the hover to ban, it depends your opinion on this. I think there's both ways. You know, if someone's a pure 1 trick and hovers their champion and that champion gets banned, that's obviously a bad thing for that 1 trick and probably even your odds of winning. But if your teammate is hovering Bard top lane, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to ban that out. Like a clear troll pick, you know, or even a brand new champion. You know, when a brand new champion makes it to the game, where normally that champion is banned most games, that champion's going to never be banned anymore, by the way. Why? Because there's always going to be someone hovering that champion. Now, it is worth mentioning if one team hovers the champion and one team doesn't, the team that doesn't hover that champion could ban it. But let's be honest, when a brand new champion is released, usually one person, at least one person on each team, is wanting to play it, therefore they'll hover it. We'll see how that goes. That could be a bit chaotic, but yeah. Sanctum will be running 2 mythic variants in the Sanctum this time around. Sunken Shadows Lucian and Nami will be joining the roster, terrorizing bot lanes everywhere, and they'll be available until patch 26.2. So if you'd like to wreak havoc in style, you should check that out. Your shop is back, which is always a good thing. You get discounts depending on the champions you play. Arcane Anniversary. By popular player request, we've made a new icon featuring Mel and Ambessa that will be releasing this patch. Arguably 2 of the most hated mechanical champions in the game. Very cool characters, but mechanically they're both a little bit broken. But yeah, that is it. Let's get into the champion changes. So hide behind the Brom. Base health is going up by 20, so 610 to 630. I would say as well, Brom doesn't feel weak, but okay. Damage on follow-up attacks is going from 20% to 40% for his passive. Again, Brom is a very good champion, but he's specific. Brom is not supposed to be a champion that you can play every game. And again, that's one of my things I would say has gone, if you will, slightly downhill in Modern League, is before, years ago, it was very much a known thing that you can't pick a champion and be good in every single situation. It just doesn't exist. But more recently, in the last couple of years, Riot is basically trying to blur the lines and make any champion be played at in any game. It does get a bit messy. You know, Brom is a very good engage, but he's actually a very good counter engage champion that is also very good against certain champions. He's a counter against a lot. He's a counter against Misfortune and things like that. That he holds up the shield and goes, "You can't damage here." That's what he's good at. But he shouldn't be played every game. He shouldn't really be doing damage, so buffing to his damage is a bit weird. But I like the champion, obviously, but yeah. So they're making him a bit tankier and more damage to his passive. So there's that. Dr. Mundo obviously has been quite a controversial champion this season. Is very strong. Like I think it was even today there was a Mundo against us. Just unstoppable. Literally just an unstoppable force. So yeah. So this is specifically a nerf to his jungling. So nothing impacting anything to do with his scaling whatsoever, or damage, or tankiness, etc. So it's just slowing down his clip. So the Q, the jungle monster cap of it, is going down 50 per rank. So it will do less damage. It will slow down his clear. But yeah. So they're saying here they're happy with top lane when top lane Mundo ended up. But jungle Mundo is over the line. Yeah, I'd maybe agree with that. Like, I think they made Mundo, again, what he's supposed to be, and pretty much every Mundo player would agree. He's supposed to be garbage in lane phase. And that's obviously what the whole Warmog's Rush build stopped. It made him still bad at lane phase, but instead of, oh, I've had a terrible trade because I'm bad at lane phase, I'm now useless. It's, oh, I've had a bad trade because I'm bad at lane phase, oh, I'm just going to stand back here with Warmogs, get back to full health, and let's go again. And your opponent can't do the same thing. So it kind of, it's sealed like a weakness, if you will, of the champion. But yeah, he's a mental champion. And I think top lane right now, it's gotten a lot better. But jungling, he can avoid the bad lane phase, if you will, and just jungle and free farm and get to quite strong quite easily. So yeah, I don't mind a jungle nerf specifically, but there is a world that maybe some specific Mundo nerfs may have been needed, or even maybe not Mundo nerfs, item nerfs, possibly. But yeah, Kayn, Shadow Assassin Kayn is a bit too good at taking down his targets at the moment. So we're giving, so we're here this patch to give him a fighting chance. We don't want Rust to be caught in the crossfire of these nerfs. So they're taking aim at the blue Kayn stuff. So bonus post mitigation magic damage was 25 to 45% of his passive. It's now 20% to 40%. So it's in essence a 5% max damage nerf to his passive. Fair enough. Kha'Zix, probably kind of similar. It's like what I said, you know, the nerfs that we're seeing this game, this patch, if you think about it, Blue Kayn, Kha'Zix, and Zed. They're all AD assassins, and they're all just a little bit too consistent. An AD assassin is not supposed to be consistent. It's supposed to be high risk, high reward. But playing all three of those champions doesn't feel that risky. That's the problem. So yeah. So they're just nerfing him down a little bit. The base damage for his W is going down. So only 10 per rank. He will feel it a little bit, but it's not going to absolutely stop him decimating a squishy target with an empowered Q, you know? So he can still do his job. It's just toning him down a little bit, which I think is fine. Master Yi! Master Yi is another powerful champion who's been dominating the jungle as of late. Yeah. Base health is going down by 15, making him slightly squishier, and attack damage growth is going down as well. So that's not too bad. Hilariously, I'd actually say one of the problems with Master Yi is actually an item. I played against a Master Yi today. You'll watch that video in probably about a week and a half. But it's an item that for a long time people ignored, and they just built it on Nocturne, Experimental Hexplate. But because they did stuff to the item, they buffed it, I think, it's obviously opened the item to a lot more. You're seeing Vayne's build the item, Mordekaiser's, Zeri's. That item on Master Yi is mental. It's attack speed and movement speed. It's exactly what he wants, and it gives him tankier stats. You know, it doesn't make him one-shottable a lot of the time. So it is very good on him, and it's a nightmare when a Master Yi builds it. And obviously, it goes without saying, Master Yi, he's a bad champion. You know, he's a very basic, bare-bones champion, and if he's played in Master-odd games, it shows the champion's in an unhealthy state, because he's too basic, in theory, to be played in high rating, unless statistically he's broken. And you are seeing him in Master-old games quite often. Next champion, hello Miss Maya, is Mel. So while not mathematically overpowered, Mel has solidified herself as the most frustrating champion to play in League. I'd agree to that, and I think Ambessa is in that same category, and you know, they are mother and daughter. Again, both amazing characters, and from Arcane, they were wonderful to watch. Their kits you can understand why Riot made them on the strong side. You know, they're from the show Arcane. Riot want these champions to do well. It was a big deal for Riot, the show, you know? For Mel, again, it's the frustration of very long range. You know, I can hit you, you can't hit me. Her ultimate is technically global. If she gets stacks on people, they you know, they can run away as far as they like, but if the stacks are still on them, her ultimate will hit them. But obviously the reflect as well, and very low Q cooldowns on the Q and the E. It's annoying to play against one, and you know, with how she is, they're nearly in every game. You know, whether it be mid lane or even bot lane or even support. You know, you can't really get rid of her. So what are they doing? So it's mainly nerfs to her E, which is obviously the root. So orb magic damage is going down, down scaling damage. The magic damage per second is also going down. The lingering debuff duration is going down, and the mana cost is going up. So that is quite a big nerf. It's damage nerfs, it's the lingering debuff nerf, and it's costing more mana. So it's a worse damage ability, and it's costing more mana. So that's quite a big nerf. And obviously E is very much part of her trading pattern, is that she wants the E and then Q, because if someone's E'd, they're staying stationary for the Q to hit basically the whole Q. That's pretty big nerfs. We'll see how it goes. But as they said, you know, mathematically she's not overpowered. What does that mean? It just means her win rate isn't the best. But again, win rate isn't everything. Again, Azir was the most powerful champion in the game with a 43% win rate. You know, win rate doesn't tell the true story, but player satisfaction is very important, and playing against Mel is frustrating. So, yeah. Nasus, the old dog himself. So Nasus has been an underdog for some time now, so we're looking to throw him a bone. Very good. With some changes that make him a bit more durable in lane and powering him up his Q more effective stacking. Ooh. Base health is going up by 19. Pretty good. You know, that again, it doesn't seem like a lot. I know this, but it's what I've said many times before. League actually is weirdly a balanced game. You know, with 170 or 180 odd champions, with a vast amount of items. The fact that the weakest champions are probably in the mid 40% win rates, and the strongest champions get to like a 54% win rate. If you're going off win rate, it does show it's fairly balanced. You know, it's not like, oh, the weakest champion's got a 10% win rate and the strongest champion's got a 95% rate. That's never happened and never will happen. So sometimes it's like, only 19 health, does that really make a difference? Yeah. What that is doing is where right now, oh, Nasus, you just got killed by First Blood. The last tick of Ignite got you killed. Well, now he could survive it. That's the difference. That's what that does. It's not going to turn him into a really strong champion, but where at the moment his early game is very bad, and again, hilariously, a lot of late game champions are way too strong in the early game nowadays, apart from Nasus. Nasus is still pretty bad. So it just helps him. You know, it helps him, and that's never a bad thing. In his Q, the base damage of it is going up 5 per rank. Again, doesn't seem like a lot, and it doesn't really do that much in terms of damage to champions. What that does, especially for not as good Nasus players, the fact that 5 extra damage per, you know, on his Q, that's going to help them last hit better. You know, that's going to help them last hit with Q better, where sometimes they would have just missed a Q, you know, oh, I didn't get that stack. Oh, I didn't get that cannon stack. Oh, God. Well, now they'll probably get it. That, again, is good. It makes the champion more accessible in a non-toxic way. So I like that. That's good. Nidalee. Nidalee has risen up the ranks as an extremely high powerful jungler, largely due to the bug, where her Q deals more damage than it should at most ranges. Well, that'll do it. So they fixed the bug. So there's no even preemptive or like buffs. Sometimes when they fix a bug, they give a little bit of a buff going, ooh, this champion was using this bug a lot. We're fixing it, and she's going to be pretty weak after the bug fix. They're not even giving her a buff. So her bonus damage beyond 525 range of her Q was 30 to 125%. And that basically, like, it should be 0, as in you're at 525. It shouldn't do any bonus. Well, now it's actually doing it correctly. So yeah, basically Nidalee was doing a bit too much damage with her, let's say, shorter range spears than she should be. Hello, Maya. Sejuani. So the problem with Sejuani, and I've said it a few times, is Sejuani's kit is very good as a tank. Good mobility, good movement, good slows, good big ultimate. Like, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty powerful. What her problem is, I've given it away, is her damage. And that's the thing. So a lot of people go, yeah, but it's not her job to do damage. No, it's not. But the same champions in her category, Ornn and all these champions, they do damage. That's the problem, is she's a tank that doesn't do any damage. So I would imagine there might be some damage buffs here if I had to guess. So the cooldown of it is going down 1 second per rank. So that's a good thing. That in theory does even help to damage. The mana cost is also going down. Do not squeak that toy in here, Miss Mize. All done. Sorry. And there you go. The AP ratio is going up. So that is quite a considerable AP ratio buff, by the way. That's a 15% AP ratio. And for those that go, oh, she doesn't really buy AP items. No, I have seen a Sejuani buy a Liandry's before, though. And that might, you know, like a Nunu buys a Liandry's, that might make a Sejuani dip her toe into a bit of AP. A Zac, as a champion, buys a Liandry's every now and then. So that's what that's doing, is to put her on the same category as Zac and Nunu and these type of tanky junglers. Maybe that's what she needs to do too. The W as well, the mana cost is going down and the first hit AP ratio is up. So again, these are damage buffs. This is what I said she's lacking. AP ratio for her E is going up. And then the cooldown of her ultimate is going down in the early game. So if I had to guess, yeah, that's her problem. She is a good tank, she has a good kit, but she just doesn't do enough damage in the modern game. 5-10 years ago, she was fine, but the modern game has become a lot more damage centric, that every champion does damage now. So yeah. Swain. Swain's buff last patch didn't help him much. So yeah, they're basically doing heal per fragment. So obviously the fragments is when you land your E on somebody and suck, you know, press it. You suck a soul fragment out of them. And obviously if you hit 4 people, you get 4 soul fragments. If you hit your W, you get a soul fragment as well. So yeah, he's basically getting a flat 6% heal per fragment, not 3 to 6%. So based on your level, so that in the early game will help him a lot more with sustain. Victor. So again, a hyperscaling, you know, mid lane mage. Again, we had a discussion about this on stream today. Is like mages aren't giga bad. Like as an actual individual champion, they have strength. Where they struggle, and I remember we had a conversation about it, and my kind of explanation was timed perfect because then it was a game that I think we had a Victor or something like that against an Akali, I think it was. Well, guess what? The Victor was stuck mid lane, can't roam. The Akali was bot lane all the time. The Akali got giga fed. The Victor didn't do anything. Then the Akali returned to lane. She was fed from roaming. Victor then dies in solo lane, and we lost the game. Mages suck in the roaming meta. And mid lane is all about roaming. Make no mistake. That, and also, that's not going away. If you look at the upcoming changes in 2026, look at the mid lane quest. The mid lane quest is tier 3 boots, so faster boots to roam, and an empowered recall. So, hey, when you run to bot lane, you've done your job, you've done your roam in bot lane, you recall, you run back to mid with an empowered recall back to mid, or empowered home guard back to mid. It's about roaming. Like that Riot want mid to not be mid. That's unfortunately why I stopped playing the lane, and that is not going away. So something like Victor, he's a cool champ. A lot of the mages are cool. They're amazing. But if it's mage versus mage, all the mages are fine. Practically all of them are fine. Where it gets bad is when it's a mage versus like hyper roamer like Katarina, Akali, or anything like that. That's when the gap of solo queue prowess really opens up. But anyway, what are they doing? His Q. The Q is the empowered like auto attack that does give him a shield. So they are giving him more shielding through base shield and ability power. So it'll make him tankier. And they fixed 2 bugs as well. So they are just saying he's in need of a little bit more power right now. We'd like to do that by leaning into his strength as a mid-range battle mage. To do this, we're increasing the shield on his Q so he can stick it out better when going in to look for trades. So, in essence, he's going to be tankier via his shield. Fair enough. ZAAHEN, obviously, I will say, I've really enjoyed this champion, but he's definitely been too strong. And I would say one of the things that has been really good to see is I recorded a bunch of ZAAHEN before even the first video really dropped on YouTube. you guys in the comment section have been really really lovely about it. And I remember a comment sticks out to me from a few days ago that was literally like, I've watched Huz for like 6 years and I've never seen him have as much fun on a new champion. I 100% agree with you, like genuinely. I don't know within the last 6 years has there been a champion that I've gone, ooh, this is fun. A lot of champions, unfortunately, I would say in the last 5-6 years have been really unhealthy for the game. And you could say ZAAHEN is in that category on launch, but I truly, and again, part of, you know, I'm not saying that all of the things I say are right, far from it. We all have our biases. And what I'd like to think my bias is, I don't think I have absolute extreme point of view in anything. I am, you know, an all-rounder. I'm not a one-trick. I'm not a main. I jump around roles more than most players do over the years. I just like the game to be healthy. And a lot of the modern champions are not healthy for the game. That's the thing I care about the most. So when I see changes, the first thing that goes into my head, most players will go, how does that benefit me? What I think is that good for League of Legends? That's the way that I think. And I think a lot of the stuff that the Riot's done in the last 5 years has not been good for League. And I think that's pretty evident with how many people have stopped playing. You know, WASD, I think, is terrible for League as an actual video game. The thing with ZAAHEN, I think he is good for League, and I'm really having fun with him. I think, again, his balance has been a bit too strong. His kit, I think, is very good. I actually don't think his kit's unhealthy. Even the revive, by the way. I think, you know, a revive like Akshan's, very unhealthy for the game. It's a personalized revive for him specifically, that he is stationary while he's having to do it, and he has to achieve it. He has to fight quite a lot to get to the revive. If you kill him before he gets it, he just dies. And then it's got a pretty long cooldown that even if you fight him again, even if he gets to his passive, he then doesn't have his revive for quite a while. So I'm having a lot of fun with him. And I would say I do put it slightly to, I don't know what it is, but I just think I'm Batman when I'm playing him. Like, genuinely. I know that's probably a bit of a silly thing to say, but I am a mega Batman fan. Like, I'm going to show you. My office is a bit of a mess because obviously we're baby sorting and stuff. But, you know, excuse all the mess. But if you look there, see that? So that, back when I had more money than sense and I lived at home, that is a limited edition print from Batman. It's signed and numbered by the artist. Like, I love Batman. Batman is my boy. If someone said to me, who is your favorite, you know, media character, comic book character? Batman. Batman is my guy. Down below these units at the bottom, I have a complete collection of hardback Batman comics. So I'll pull one out. So I've got these. These are a full collection. I love Batman. Always have, probably always will. Secret Labs said they might be sending me a brand new chair. I've said, can I have the Batman one? And for some reason, and I can't fully explain it, when I'm playing ZAAHEN, I feel like I'm playing Batman. And I don't know what it is. Batman doesn't have a spear, but sometimes I just feel like I'm playing Batman. And that makes me happy. Like, genuinely, I think it's part that he has the kind of cape, that he kind of looks like he's gliding like Batman. The spear, when you do Control 2, he kind of perches on the spear like Batman does on top of a tower. He's Batman. I love him. He's great. Honestly, if I ever, and obviously I've never used a custom skin, and I never probably would because it's technically against TOS and I'm a League partner, but if I ever did use a custom skin, a skin that makes ZAAHEN into Batman, that would be pretty cool. Anyway, what are they doing? Passive, Cultivation of War, bonus AD per stack is going down. So that obviously is when he gets to hit like the highest stacks of his passive, he's gaining a lot of AD. And at max stacks, he was gaining a lot, by the way. So literally, like, he could get like close to 100 AD when he's actually at his passive, depending his level. It was a lot. So they're toning that down a little bit, which I'm fine with. The Q AD ratio. Oh, it's worth saying. So some of these have already happened, I believe. Maybe. Because I don't know why in brackets 25.23. Oh, what's this? Yeah, I think these changes went out in the micro patch. So yeah, the ones that have in brackets have already happened. So there was a micro patch after last patch when he got released after a couple of days. So the passive has already been nerfed, which I did know. The damage ratio on his Q has already gone down. And then the second cast base damage has already gone down. But then other things that are changing, the cooldown of his Q is going up by 1 second each rank. The monster damage amplifier is going up though. So they're actually saying, hey, maybe he could be a jungler more. And then the E, the sweet spot damage. Ooh, that's a big nerf in late game. So yeah, in early game, it's not going to be too major. But yeah, basically it's nerfs a lot. But as I said, he's got a very strong kit. I'm fine with this. It does take a long time to get the sweet spot balance. And the thing with ZAAHEN is I don't actually think any part of his kit needs to be taken away. Like when you look at something like Mel, she needs parts of her kit taken away. Like I do not think that champion needs an execute. You know, you could just remove the execute and it would make the champion a lot healthier. She doesn't need it. And Bessa probably needs, I would say, the second part of her Q taken away, the ranged part. She does not need a ranged part of her kit with how mobile she is. These are the type of things that probably need to be taken away from the champion kits. I don't think there's anything in ZAAHEN's kit that needs to be taken away. I think the kit is pretty basic, and I think you can balance this champion just with numbers, so I am all fine with that. Zed. Passive damage to monsters, so is going down. So obviously his passive does increase damage at low health to things. It's just toning down how quick he can do it, which is fine. Runes Bloodline. A recent buff to Legend Bloodline didn't land in it quite as strong as we hoped. I would say the one thing that confuses me about Riot, they go in this kind of tennis match of ping pong, or whatever you want to call it, of buff lifesteal, nerf lifesteal, buff lifesteal, nerf lifesteal. It's a constant battle. And now we're in a state that they're trying to make the lifesteal runes stronger again. It wasn't long ago when they nerfed it really hard. But anyway, so the maximum lifesteal you can get from it was 6% before. It's now going to 6.75. For free lifesteal, it's not bad. But yeah. And that is it for the major changes. There's arena changes. ARAM Mayhem. I will say, by the way, are they bringing it? Yeah. I question to you if you're still watching. Do you prefer ARAM Mayhem to ARAM? And my answer is yes. I think ARAM, it is perfect for ARAM. The fact that you get the augments and it just makes it a bit more chaotic, I think it's brilliant. I think it is a better version of ARAM. And part of me hopes it becomes the default for ARAM. I truly do. I think it is better. So they're saying just the enthusiasm we've been having around ARAM Mayhem. We've loved to see your wacky augment combinations and clips. In this update, we're bringing some exciting prismatic augments from Arena. Don't worry, they've also been tuned for Mayhem's pacing, etc. We've also reworked blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's staying for now. And again, trust me when I say, you know, a few people have always asked me, you know, is Riot going to keep that thing? Is Riot blah, blah, blah? The feedback that whenever I've asked Riot, is such and such thing staying? The answer I've always gotten is, it depends on the data. Riot's not dumb. If something is popping off and doing well and bringing players to the game, even players that used to play it, especially who come back to play a thing, they're going to keep it. Like 100%. It's like why Arena, they said we're going to keep Arena for a year. Arena made players who used to play, let's say, hardcore League of Legends ranked, come back to the game because they came back to be an Arena player. If ARAM Mayhem is doing a similar thing of, oh, people are coming to play ARAM Mayhem, they'll keep it. But yeah, then there's new augments. And that might be it. System changes. Clash Summoner's Rift. Ooh. I will try my best to play that. So in theory, Baby Pleb should not be here. Should not be here on those days. That will potentially be a nice little couple bonus videos. And to be honest, if I can play both of the days, I will try. Because if we can get 3 games per night done, that's 6 videos. That would be fantastic. So I will try and do that, and we'll try and make them all into videos for you all. And that is going to be it. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do throw a like on it, throw a subscribe, hype it if you've got it available. And as I said, let me know what you thought of this season. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my patch note breakdowns. I enjoy doing them. I know other people do them and Riot devs do them, but I do them because I am going to read the patch notes anyway. You know, as a player that plays the game at a decent level, that wants to know what's going on with the game, I'm going to read them anyway. I may as well make a video on it. And I think a lot of you, if you didn't watch this video, you wouldn't know what's going on with the game. You wouldn't read them, you know? So I think it's a good thing to do anyway. So hope you enjoyed. As I said, do all the stuff, like, comment, etc. And I'll see you guys next time. And the next patch breakdown will be in next year. So for patch note breakdowns, I will see you next year. And that's going to be kind of crazy to say out loud. The next time I record a patch note breakdown, I'm going to be a dad. Damn. Anyway, see you guys next time. Peace.
Welcome to the Rift, where the legends play. It's Kha'Zix games bringing skill every day. From tips to tricks and play so fine, you'll learn the game and have a good time. Thanks for watching, you're the real MVP. Hit that like and sub, join the family tree. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep the Kha'Zix dream alive. Tune in on Twitch.